Karen, have you heard that the Green Group is putting forward a resolution tomorrow at Synod asking that Anglican churches and Anglican households reduce their emissions by half by 2030?
Really? Yeah, I did hear that. Half is quite a lot, don't you think?
I do. Yeah, I agree. It is a lot. Yeah, I think it'll take real effort.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I think it's something we have to do because, you know, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change came out with a report saying that we only have 8 years left before we hit the point of no return. And that would be totally disastrous. You know, it was hot enough this summer and people died, so it's serious.
I know it's really serious, and that does sound dire. But is it really the church's responsibility? I thought that was more of a secular world thing, like that's more for governments to address than the church.
Yeah, it is for governments to address as well. But the church should lead the way because, you know, we have the great commandment to love our neighbors. And we can't just let them suffer and die. And besides, I mean, we were charged in we made a baptismal promise that we would strive to safeguard the integrity of creation and sustain the life of the earth. So it's part of our promise, and it's part of the commandment.
So I guess you're sort of saying that this is a spiritual crisis. The climate change is really at root a spiritual crisis?
That's really what I'm saying. I think, you know, basically it's caused by our disconnection, lack of connection, or loss of connection between God, ourselves, God, and the earth.
That sounds like the definition of sin, really. But at the same time, when you think about it, 50% is a lot when it comes down to the practical level of how do you do that, right?
Yeah,
it's asking a lot.
It is asking a lot. Oh my gosh. But there are things that we can do. And, you know, the Green Group also put out a survey a few weeks ago that could be a guide for churches in terms of making changes and what they need to do.
I didn't know that was available, that resource.
Yeah.
I guess that would give us a place to start.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And, you know, as far as the buildings are concerned, you could start by getting an energy audit.
I've heard they cost a lot, and our church doesn't have a ton of money.
Most churches don't. Yeah, but you know, you could do a walkthrough audit either by yourselves or with a professional, and just look and see what needs to be done. And you can apply for grants. There are grants available to retrofit.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so there are things that can be done.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else can be done?
Well, in terms of our own personal carbon footprint, the biggest thing, the huge thing that can be done is adopting a plant-based diet.
Now you're telling me I can't eat steak.
Well, no. I'm not saying that entirely. You could have the occasional meat, but you know, there are huge advantages as far as your health is concerned of a Mediterranean diet. Studies have shown that people eating a Mediterranean diet have less heart disease, less cancer, less obesity, and generally all around better health, less diabetes. So there's that, but the other thing is that food and food waste accounts for more greenhouse gases than the entire transportation sector.
Well, it sounds like changing a diet changes a lot. Like, it addresses health and the health of the person and the planet, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is that meat, particularly beef, and the way it's fast food beef is comes to us is really through the Amazon and other tropical forests being cut down, and so that has a double whammy.
Right. Yeah.
And in Canada, beef is mostly raised in feedlots, so that's very, very hard. It consumes a lot of water and cash crop feed.
Mm-hmm.
So that, produces all kinds of other problems as well. And did you know cows burp methane? They do.
Now we're talking about gas.
Yeah.
What is methane?
Methane is a greenhouse gas. It's 70 times more powerful than carbon dioxide.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's
Wow.
something we really need to consider.
Right. Yeah. Well, it sounds like we need to really get serious now about climate change, and I'm going to vote for the resolution. But I'd like to learn more about what else we can do apart from changing the diet and doing a walkthrough audit. These things. What else we as a church and individuals can do?
Well, if you look at the rest of this presentation, there's lots of suggestions.
Right.
So, yeah.
Great.
Okay, nice chatting with you.
Nice chatting with you.